So you're trying to make a beat in Logic Pro 10, but you don't know where to start? Well, in this video and in this series, I'm going to be talking about how to make a beat in Logic Pro 10, and you can sound dope. So let's get into it. VNDL, and we are back here in the studio. As always, sorry for being absent the past couple of weeks. Just been slacking on the videos, but in this video and in this series, I'm going to be talking about how to make a beat in Logic Pro 10. And if you guys are new to this channel, please consider subscribing because I do a ton of like tutorial videos, production techniques, and I also do some stuff with interviews. I interview people talking about how they became successful. That's going to be coming every Sunday, and these tutorials are going to be coming every Thursday. So what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. Anyway, so if you want to become a better producer, you definitely want to check out the channel. And just a little bit of background on me. I've been supported by Skrillex. I've done remixes for Sony artists. I have been also supported by Jack U, Party Favor, Adventure Club, a bunch more, Lumberjack also, and also released on Lumberjack's label. I've had some success. Some of my students have released on Dimmock and other labels, and it's pretty dope. You know, it's pretty dope. It's really cool. If you have seen the other video from last week, I believe I uploaded it. Zay is the guy who got released on Dimmock, and he kind of gives you a testimonial on how that happened. But anyway, so in this video, we're talking about how to make a beat in Logic Pro 10. So this is mainly for the people who are, I think I'm going to gear this towards the hip-hop heads who are trying to make some hip-hop beats, because that's like a great place to start. I feel like that's where I started when I started producing, and it's fairly simple as far as production techniques go, and getting a beat out. It actually is pretty simple and it doesn't take that long. As you can see, my track is not, this is a work in progress here. This track is not as organized as you guys usually are probably used to, but my guitars are organized. So I just bought a Squire Telecaster and I'm really pumped about it. So I wanted to make a track with guitars in it. So the way I started this hip hop beat is this is gonna be a 4-part video. So in this video, we're gonna talk about we'll talk about the guitars and the bass. And then the next video, actually this video, we'll just talk about the guitars. And then the next video, we'll talk about the bass, and then we'll talk about the drums, and then we'll talk about the rest of the vocals and stuff. Because that's what it is. So I'm going to try to get this video done very quickly. I don't want to take too long, and I don't want to take too much of your time, because I want you guys to get in there and get producing. So I have the guitars here. So originally, I just plugged my... Now, you don't need all this fancy gear, but you do need a way to record into your computer. So I have a Scarlett 18i20 interface. And basically, this is kind of like a mid-level interface that's pretty dope. And it sounds really good. And then before my interface, I actually have a Tone V's TB12 warm audio, what's it called? Preamp. Then it's going into an 1176 clone by Hairball Audio. So I have some outboard gear, but you don't need it. You don't really need it. You can just go straight into your interface. So that's where I plug my guitar. I plug my guitar into my preamp, going through the compressor, and then into my, into my interface and into my computer. So this is what the sound came out like with just the guitar. I'm just gonna solo this section here. So that's straight out of my guitar into the interface through the gear. Decent tone, very clean. And as you can see, not that great. So what I did was I just looped a section that I played okay. And when you don't need to play like your whole song all the way through perfect. The days of that are kind of gone. But if you really want to be that good, which is excellence, you should definitely practice that. You can play like all the way through the verse and the chorus. But what I did was I just loop sections. It's just quicker for me to get songs done. So I have this guitar, right? And then I wanted to get an amp. So Logic Pro has these great amps. You just go to Amps and Pedals and Amp Designer. So this is an Amp Designer. So open this up. I just picked a preset, to be honest. I didn't really tweak it. I was looking for something that sounded really dreamy, old-timey, and this is what it is. So it's really bright. And has that really nice little bit of crunch and then like delay, or not delay, reverb on it, which is really nice. So then simply all I did was record or use the EQ to really make it sound lo-fi and get rid of the highs, because where the vocals are going to sit, I don't want there to be too much going on. So then I have a couple of layers. These are different layers of the guitar. And I have one pan to the left. I have one pan to the right. And the reason why I have that is so that I can have a nice wide guitar sound. Now, listen to it without it. Okay, now listen to it with it. And on the wide ones, I put a tremolo, a little bit of delay, 2 different echoes, 2 different delays, and I probably EQ'd them a little different. Now you can hear one of the guitars has a distorted amp, and I believe it's the left one. If you have headphones on, you'll really be able to hear the separation. Yeah, see, this is straight out of Logic too, and it's great because you can choose the different kind of microphone that you want to put, the mic placement. It's very, very cool, and it comes stock with Logic Pro. So if you're a Logic head and you're trying to record guitars, you don't really need to get an amp. You have a ton of amps in your DAW. So it's pretty cool. And then we have the other one, which is something different. Blues Blaster Distort. So both of these are distorted. Yeah, so it's really cool. Pretty cool. Might be really quiet. If I like limit it. So it's pretty cool that your ear hears it as one sound, but it's 2 different sounds, and because they're 2 different sounds doing 2 different things, it kind of like separates them a bit, but your ear puts it together. It's really cool, and it gives you a nice wide distorted sound, which I really wanted. I wanted this like, what's his name, A$AP Rocky kind of vibe on this beat. So the guitars, that's it. That's pretty much it. And then I have a top guitar. Really simple. And I took a lot of the attack off of it. So it sounded more of like a... See how you hear that? You don't really hear the attack. And they're all going through the same delay and reverb. Because the whole track is going through this whole thing. Because I wanted the whole track to be like this washy thing. So, we're getting close to that time. So, let me just let you hear what the beat sounds like. And what the guitars and bass sound like together. And just so you know, I recorded the bass. The bass is a live bass. I recorded the guitars. The drums and some of the vocals are the only things that are samples. So, let's just actually peep what this sounds like. So pretty dreamy, as you can tell. So that's basically the track. It's really simple, and then I have some vocals too. I want you to hear what they kind of sound like in the beat. So let me actually turn this down a bit so it doesn't break your speakers, you know. chill, you know, really vibed out. I don't know what those vocals even really mean. Just something I heard in my head and I stacked them up. That's why these aren't named, because I just did these like last night. So don't be afraid to use your own voice. You know, your own voice is what's going to set you apart. And you know, you wanna be as unique as possible and be yourself as much as possible when you're making music. So yeah, so this was this week, and we talked about the guitars. Next week we will talk about the bass, because the bass, I'm doing some really cool stuff on the bass guitar. We'll talk about the synths and the bass next week, and then we'll go from there. And then the drums third week, and then the vocals on the fourth week. And we'll talk about the whole track as a whole that week too. So yeah, thanks again for watching. This is your boy Vandal, and if you haven't already, consider liking and commenting. If you comment, tell me what you think about this beat and be completely honest. If you think it's whack, tell me. If you think I suck, that's cool. If you think, if you want to put thumbs down, you can do that too, because that's awesome. But if you feel that way, it's great. I won't get all butthurt. But yeah, like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell button just to make sure that you know when these videos are coming out. You get that notification. All right, peace.